We all know the PC gaming and the console gaming rivalry has been an ancient battle and still not settled as new upgrades keep coming to both of them, making the battle undying. But do you know that between the market dominance of mobile gaming at nearly 50% and slow rise of video gaming streaming, it makes sense. Consoles make up to 30% of the gaming industry market share, as PC gaming eats about 25% according to a recent analysis. Almost 3 years ago, Sony and Microsoft launched next-gen gaming consoles being the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and later on Intel and the all-time best graphics provider Nvidia brought out theirs. So I'm going to deep dive this whole battle considering their graphics, mods, availability and other stuff. Let's start with the price comparison. First thing individuals may want to consider is the price of admission. Consoles are generally more affordable than even the best budget gaming PCs and include everything needed to get started. Sony's PS5 comes in two versions, the standard disc version for $499 and the digital only for $399 version. The Xbox Series X or the X variant have Microsoft handling things a bit different. Priced at $499, the Xbox Series X features more specs comparable to the PS5, and namely the Xbox Series S goes for a mere $299, and not only does it lack a 4K Blu-ray drive, but also features a weaker hardware. What this means is, the S variant offers less impressive performance that reflects either in lower frame rates or lower resolution. But this may still be a worthwhile trade-off for those who have no interest in investing in 4K display anytime soon. Well, unlike the consoles, there is no clear-cut answer to this question. Why? Simply because of the sheer variety of the computer hardware that's available at the moment. Considering how customizable they are, PCs cover a very wide spectrum when it comes to both pricing and performance. Generally, gaming PCs can be divided into 5 common categories that indicate your pricing and performance brackets: entry-level, budget, mid-range, high-range, and enthusiast. Depending on how you go about it, the cheapest entry-level PC can set you back as little as $300, whereas the prices of some high-end builds can easily hit quadruple-digit price points and can cost literally thousands of dollars. However, a solid gaming PC is bound to be more expensive upfront, especially now. Building a PC with next-gen features like the best processors, the best graphics, and the best SSDs is going to cost a lot. And that's not even considering all the additional hardware like the gaming mouse, the gaming headset, and some good-looking keyboards. There is also the option to save a considerable amount of money by building a PC with used older hardware. Processors and graphics cards don't become obsolete after a year or two, just because their manufacturers have something shinier to show you at the latest event: getting games. When it comes to buying games on consoles, there are two ways to do it: either get a digital copy via the respective network or buy retail physical copies. PC games, on the other hand, don't really get physical release anymore. Of course, you can still find PC games in stores, but these days are usually just boxes containing activation codes, and this is commonly used in Steam. Pricing membership should not be a competition. PC does not charge you to play online. Apart from the fact that some people simply prefer collecting physical copies to lining them on their shelves with their favorite games, there is also the fact that you can always sell a physical copy of the game after you are done playing it. Just the same, you don't have to buy copies that are brand new, but you can get them used instead. Now, when it comes to how to get digital copies of games on a PC, the situation is a lot more diverse and wallet-friendly. Games are much cheaper to get it on PC, which does offset the increased cost of a game in the PC itself. And though it may not seem like much at first glance, it can really add up to over the years and save you a considerable amount of money. PC games have a bit more flexibility for how they want to pay for games. Most of the digital storefronts on PC like Steam always offer some sort of sale for games that are usually more affordable than their console counterparts. And there are lots more indie darlings on the PC that you can get for about a cost of a cup of coffee. Now, for the games and their exclusives. Gaming PCs have access to more games. Most modern games come out for both PCs and consoles, and PCs can outrun most of the older games. Thanks to the patches, fan modes, and emulators, you can play 80s, 90s, and early 20s games. In the previous generation, Sony in particular was known for securing an array of excellent exclusive titles that drove the popularity of the PlayStation 4 and gave it an important edge over the Xbox One, which was lacking in this regard. Now in the current gen, things are a bit different. While Sony already has a number of notable PlayStation 5 exclusive titles lined up, such as the Demon's Souls remake Horizon Forbidden West and the God of War Ragnarok, Microsoft has also been stepping up in its game in this respect. Among Microsoft's lineup, we can already see several notable games such as the Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Starfield, and even the long-awaited Stalker 2. And not only that, but with the recent acquisition of Activision Blizzard, Microsoft has gotten a hold of several notable franchises, though it's unclear as to which of them will become exclusives. Something that is important to note is that Microsoft's exclusivity isn't console exclusivity in a traditional sense. Namely, it's not about confining games to the Xbox platforms, but rather keeping them off from Sony PlayStation 5. As such, while Xbox Series X or the S version exclusive games will not be available on Sony's console, all of them will be available on PC. Now, we should also note that the PC does have exclusives on its own, in a way, necessarily because there isn't much of a push to release them on consoles as well. These PC exclusives most commonly include strategy games that will be unplayable with a controller, and also covers the MOBAs, MMOs, and many indie titles. Not to mention all the older games that were released on Windows. And at the end of the day, you simply won't be able to play everything on a single platform. So it's entirely up to each individual to decide which one is the right pick based on what they really want to play. But if a AAA blockbuster adventure is your thing, you're probably gonna miss out on some of the best if you don't have a PS5. Graphics and hardware. Historically, consoles have always been lagging behind PCs when it comes to hardware power and graphics performance, even at launch, and it was only due to clever tricks and optimization that they managed to stay relevant as the years went by. However, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X break this pattern. Both consoles are capable of running many impressive looking AAA titles in 4K at a stable 60 FPS, something that has been a dream of many gamers throughout the second half of the previous decade. It goes without saying that it's a PC hardware out there that can easily top this kind of performance. But that is where we loop back to the matter of pricing and just how much more expensive such as a PC would be, especially right now. But speaking of hardware power and hardware upgrades, the release of the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X were necessitated by the rising popularity of the 4K TVs. So unless there is pressure to increase the resolution or the frame rate in the face of 8K TVs or 120Hz 4K TVs growing up more popular, chances are the latest console will see no more major upgrades to their hardware over the course of this generation. The peripherals. The last but definitely not the least, there is also the cost of peripherals associated with the consoles and PCs. And there is another area where consoles have yet an advantage in regards to the overall cost. Consoles are prized for their simplicity and ease of use. When you buy a console, all you do is hook it up to the living room TV, connect with the controller that comes bundled in the box, and you're good to go. For the PC, you will need to invest in some peripherals that you simply can't do without. The most important ones will be the monitor, not this kind of monitor, but this, a keyboard, a mouse, and a headset or speakers. And depending on the requirement, all these put together could easily amount to the price of the actual console and even surpass it. It's pretty clear there are various pros and cons to buying a gaming console instead of PC and vice versa. Consoles are simply more affordable on every front. The initial purchase, the long-term cost, and even when it comes to the associated peripherals, overall they are definitely of a better value for your money, especially with how inflated the GPU's prices have gotten again. Not only do consoles offer performance and visuals, but the exorbitantly high prices and limited supply of the graphics cards also accentuates this advantage even more. However, since the price gap is so great and the performance gap is so relatively small, there is a little bit incentive to invest in a proper gaming PC at the moment unless you are a hardcore enthusiast. Watch all you need to know about the latest PSVR 2 right here.